I'm Carl with Haunt365, and today we're going to unbox and set up the 6.5-foot Gravedigger from Home Depot. Make sure that you check out the reboxing video. That way you can make sure that he's going to fit back in his box at the end of the season. We're going to start off by checking out the box dimensions. That way you can make sure that the box is going to fit in your vehicle. The box dimensions are 21.5 inches wide by 28 inches tall and 11.25 inches deep. Now that we've taken a look at the box dimensions, let's open this guy up. All right, so we got the base, it's labeled A, 2 lower support poles labeled B, one of the boots labeled C, a foam tube labeled D, the pants labeled E, the body frame with the control box labeled F, the shovel spade labeled G, the right leg with the boot labeled H, the head labeled I, the shirt labeled J, the coat labeled K, the left arm and hand labeled L, the right arm and hand labeled M, the owl labeled N, the shovel handle labeled O, the shovel pole labeled P, the hat labeled Q, and the adapter labeled R. So now that we got all the parts and pieces out of the box, let's lay them out and take a look. All right, let's get to putting this guy together. So we're gonna start off with the base labeled A. Keep in mind, the front has these 2 little poles sticking out in the front, so you wanna make sure this is in the front. So then you want to take one of the lower support poles labeled B. What you're going to do is you're just going to click lock this in to, there's a pole right there that you're going to click lock that into. Then you're going to take the boot that's labeled C. Keep in mind, this is the boot that's just by itself, doesn't have anything attached to it. What we're going to do is we're going to just slide that over the pole that we just put in there, that support pole B. There's a hole in the bottom of the boot and a hole in the top. So we're just going to kind of like that. Then we're going to take the other support pole labeled B, and just up top of the boot, there's that first support pole that's sticking out through the top. What we're going to do is we're going to just click lock this right like that. Then we're going to take this foam tube labeled D, and what we're going to do is we're just going to slide this down this pole that we just put in. Now we got the pants labeled E. What we're going to do is we're just going to slide the pants. There's a long side and a short side, you're going to notice on the pants. We're going to slide the long side down this leg right here. Now we've got the body frame with the control box labeled F. What we're going to do is we're just going to click lock that right here into the top of those leg supports. So also keep in mind, you've got this black cord here coming out of the control box. What you're going to do is you're going to run this down the pant leg, and you're going to hook that up down here at the base. All right, so we got the shovel spade next. It's labeled G. You've got these 2 little spokes coming out right here. In the front of the base, there's 2 little holes that you can kind of drop that into. Also, there is a spot right here with a cotter pin. Let me take that cotter pin out so you can see the cotter pin. So you got this right here. This is actually going to hook up right here to this little control box. So there's a little arm coming out of the control box that's going to hook up to that nub that the cotter pin was in. You're going to put that in there, and then you're going to put that cotter pin back. So right here on the base, you can kind of see that white piece that moves back and forth. And then you can see where that hook was on the back of the shovel spade that I showed you. So that's where you put that together. Now we got the right leg with the boot. It's labeled H. If you look at the top here, you've got these 2 little prongs. What you're going to do is over here on this side by the hip, you're going to drop these 2 little prongs into, there's a couple little holes. There's a cotter pin on there, so you're going to make sure that you take the cotter pin out first, put that in, put the cotter pin back in to kind of hold that in place. Also keep in mind at the bottom of the boot, you got 2 more little prongs with a cotter pin. At the back of the spade, you've got 2 little holes that you're going to drop that into. So you'll take the cotter pin out, drop that into that where the boot looks like it's kind of on top of the spade, and then you'll put the cotter pin back in to hold that into place. And I forgot to mention, before you go and put this together, you want to run this leg up that short pant leg before you put these prongs into that hole and do that. That way it's kind of all together. Then you can kind of go and you can pull the pants up around that hip because the pants have some elastic around the top, so you can just kind of put that around that hip hoop. So now it says to take the head that's labeled I, and again, you got these kind of prongs here. It's just gonna kind of sit. Again, you got another cotter pin. So let me see if I can get that off. And then once you set that in there, then you're gonna go and you're gonna hook up this cord that's coming from the head to the control box cord that is matching. So now it wants you to put the shirt, it's labeled J. What you're gonna do, it's almost like a bib, right? Because it's not like an actual shirt, but there's some Velcro. So you're gonna kind of Velcro this around his neck, just like that. And then there's the sensor cord that for the IR sensor that you're gonna hook up to the control box. Now you're gonna take the coat labeled K and you're gonna put that on him. It's pretty easy, actually. It just kind of goes around him, and since the arms aren't on yet, shouldn't really be very difficult. Hey, look at me when I'm talking to you. Now we got left arm and hand labeled L. We're gonna go and we're gonna put that on, kind of the same thing. We got these two prongs up here. It's got a cotter pin. We're gonna just kind of slide this up his sleeve, drop this into the two holes in his kind of shoulder blade. You're gonna wanna take the cotter pin out first. Once you've put this into the two holes in the shoulder blade, then you can put that cotter pin back in. Now we've got right arm labeled M. We're gonna do the exact same thing that we did with the left arm. We're gonna slide it up that coat sleeve. We got the two prongs here that we're gonna kind of hook into the two holes at the top by his shoulder blade. And then don't forget to remove that cotter pin and then put that cotter pin back in once his arm is in place. So now we got the owl labeled N. We've got basically just one little like pole here at the bottom of his butt. It's just gonna kind of set on his shoulder. There's a pole with a little bit of a hole in it that's on his shoulder that he kind of sets into. So when you do that, also keep in mind you're gonna wanna plug in the yellow cord that's coming from the owl to the yellow cord that's coming out of the control box. So now we got the shovel handle labeled O. We got the shovel pole labeled P. What we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of build this through his two hands. If you notice, his two hands are kind of open. They've got holes through it. So we're gonna kind of build this through that so it looks like he's holding on to it with both hands. So because that was a little difficult, I'm going to show you the picture that comes with the instructions that kind of show you a better idea of what that looks like. Now we've got the hat labeled Q. Some crazy hair coming out of this. So there's some Velcro in the hat. We're just going to set that right on top, just like that. This guy has crazy hair. All right, so we're gonna do one last check real quick just to make sure all the cords and everything's hooked up. Lastly, we got the adapter labeled R. We're gonna go and we're gonna plug this into the control box, and then we're gonna plug it into an outlet, and let's see what this guy does. So this guy comes with 7 spooky phrases. Let's check those out now.
With every Halloween in this town, it seems that the graveyard here fills up. More for me. Don't worry. I'll save a fresh grave or two for you. You never know what treasures lie in these molding crypts. Some years ago on a night just like tonight, I hear the dead rose up from these graves around here. Oh, here's one now, trying to claw his way to the surface. I'll see if I can meet him halfway. They say this cemetery is haunted. Most of the time, those buried here stay dead. But every once in a while, one pops up and grabs him. So be careful where you dig now. If you're not, they're liable to snatch your ankle and pull you right in with them. You sure look fresh and clean. You've never had to claw your way out of the earth before, have you? Ever wonder what it's like to be buried alive? Well, maybe tonight will be your lucky night then. Some folks get superstitious about digging up the dead. Well, I can't blame them. The things I've seen would make your skin crawl. Similar to these juicy worms I just found. See, this job ain't all bad. These worms will make a tasty snack for later. So, you're wondering what I'm doing out here in the dead of night, eh? Well, what does it look like? I'm robbing some graves, obviously. Now, are you gonna grab a shovel and help me or not? I just might split the spoils with you.
So I gotta be honest, this guy's pretty cool. I do like the face. You can't really see the eyes when it's lit up via my camera. But you can see, like, if you get really close, you can kind of see the green in the eyes. The owl, its eyes light up, and it makes some hooting noises as he's talking. He's got, you know, kind of this crazy hair, so he's got that going for him. The one thing that I think is a little odd is his arms. I don't know if it's just the way that it just looks kind of stickish. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. His arms and his legs are like that, where you can't really, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of substance going on underneath the clothes. I do like the function where his foot is down like on the spade of the shovel, and it kind of moves like he is literally about to start digging. I do like that, and I do like the motion. On the control box, this guy has 3 different functions. You can either have him just continuously moving and talking. You can have him on a step pad, or you can have him on a sensor. You also, it does have the volume control, which is nice. So right now I've got the volume off so that you can't hear him, so that we can actually kind of talk and show what's going on. So out of all the Gravediggers that they've had over the years, I think this guy's one of my favorites. I'd actually like to know, what's your favorite Gravedigger that you've purchased over the years? Which one do you like the best? Do you like this guy over some of the other ones that they've had on different years? So there you have it, the 6.5-foot Gravedigger from Home Depot, fully assembled. Make sure that you check out my reboxing video. That way you can make sure that this guy is going to fit into that box at the end of the season. It makes your life a lot easier. So let me know your thoughts on this guy. I think this guy's pretty cool. I think out of all the Gravediggers out there, he's probably one of my favorites. Let me know which one is your favorite. If you have, you know, a different Gravedigger that was, you know, you liked a little bit better or whatnot, leave that in the comments. So until next time, happy haunting. Cheers.